Okay, here we go. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of the Football Philosophy Podcast. And with me today, I have, as usual, Mr. Trey. What are you saying, bro? You good?
All good, man. All good. How you been? How you been, Abby?
I've been
No.
very busy, man. That's why I haven't done any episodes lately. But it's better than not doing anything. So we're here now. We're ready to go, and we have had an amazing Premier League week. But yeah, we were hoping to have Nathan join us today, but I think he got a little bit busy, so he won't be able to join us. But yeah, it's just gonna be me and you, and let's see what we can do, bro.
Yes, the late night show, of course. So we've got Mr. Philosophy here. He came back with the great lighting. I love that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
thanks, man.
I need to step my game like Mr.
No,
Philosophy, man.
your line is perfect. Actually, I can see you, but I'm just struggling to hear you a little bit. But we'll get through it together.
We'll get through it
Um,
together, man. Yeah.
yeah. So how are you enjoying the African Cup of Nations first of all before we get to the Premier League part?
You know what? I just wanted to just take this platform to just big up the organizers for making this happen. Etu is the president of the, let's say, the Cameroon FA. So
Yes,
he's had a
yes.
massive involvement in the organization, the build up to make sure things are okay. And look, there were questions about the tournament still being run or being cancelled. That's one of the things that I felt, why would they question this historic tournament? And to see the upsets that we saw, of course, with the African nations, like Nigeria knocked out, Ghana knocked
Ooh,
out. This
yeah.
is, I cannot believe this. So
I know, man. That
imagine,
was a big
imagine.
surprise seeing obviously Nigeria how they performed the three games in the group stage coming into the competition. They weren't really one of my favorites to go on all the way and win it, but the way they've done the three games in the group stages, and you're thinking like obviously this is a huge nation. You've got over 200 people, over 200 million people following, and basically hoping that their nation would do something good, but they've come really short. That was a disappointing game against Tunisia. I felt like the players were being too selfish, and obviously the red card didn't help by Alex Iwobi. It wasn't like a really intentional red card, I would say. But at the end of the day, these things they happen, but you have to go on with it. And I just felt like the whole game they just spent most of it just shooting the ball from ridiculous angles. I felt like they didn't stay together as a team. And Tunisia, at the end of the day, they worked together perfectly. Um, if you look at the biggest threat from Nigeria was always going to be from the two wide players, but I felt like Tunisia dealt with the threat from Simon and Chukwueze perfectly. They've put two man on each player, or even sometimes three players on each player, and once the threat from the wing was eliminated, you just felt like there was nothing else Nigeria could do to help Tunisia. And yeah, so at the end of the day, deserved winners. And I think the next round we're gonna see Hannibal, who's a United player. Who yourself, obviously, you follow him quite closely. Um, I think he's gonna be back, if I'm not mistaken, the next round because he had a red card in the last game, so he missed this game. And it's gonna be great to see him how he does the next round, and how he helps Tunisia into the next rounds. But obviously now you've got Cameroon, Ivory Coast, and Senegal, maybe to see what's going to happen through until the end of the tournament. But my money now, if I was a betting man, it would be on Ivory Coast going all the way because I feel like the balance of that team is very good. They play on Wednesday, so they could go out, and I'm gonna be looking very silly saying here saying that Ivory Coast are gonna go all the way, but I do believe that they have all the credentials to go all the way. Obviously, you've got Senegal, you've got Cameroon, who are the host country. Let's see. The Premier League now, we have had yesterday the last games of the week before the 2 weeks break.
Mm.
First of all, what do you think about this 2 weeks break now, having had the busy Christmas period? Do you like it? Are you okay with it? Because it's going to be also another week for the teams that have gone through to the fourth round of the FA Cup, that means 3 weeks for teams like United, teams like Chelsea, City, Liverpool. Obviously, Arsenal, they've been knocked out of the first round, or the third round, should I say. That's going to be 3 weeks for most of the teams in the Premier League. What do you think about that?
Honestly, when it comes to sort of these international breaks during the business end of the season, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like it. But when I think about the amount of games that's going to be played, straight after this international break, maybe a 2 week or 3 week break could work really well for players who Ragnick now, from a Manchester United perspective, I think he can work really closely with the players that are not involved with any sort of international team. So I'm thinking about maybe a Wan-Bissaka, for example. He doesn't play for England, nor does he play for Congo. It could be an opportunity for him to get that one-on-one, training, and he can work on sort of players like this as well, so
Yeah,
they
yeah,
can
yeah.
improve and get better. So it's a bit of a, it's I don't know. It could be any. It could be any. It could be
Yeah,
bad. It could be good. It could work in our
yeah. No, the
favor.
break that I was
It could
talking
work.
about,
Yeah.
obviously, the international break, that's going to come up. And that's when, obviously, most of the teams that haven't qualified for the World Cup are going to have the opportunity to finish their qualification. But the break that I was talking about is there's going to be no break, no football
At all.
for the next 2 weeks. No Premier League, yeah. That's what I was talking about. It's quite weird. Most people don't know about it.
I didn't even know. I didn't know.
Yeah,
This,
yeah.
this
So
is the
there's gonna
first
be two
time.
weeks of no
This,
Premier League. On
why?
top of that, teams that are gonna be playing FA Cup, when they come back, like United from their break, they're gonna be playing against I believe Middlesbrough in the fourth round at home. If no, is it Forest or Middlesbrough, one of them, and then they're gonna play against Burnley. So there's gonna be 2 weeks, even 3 weeks of no Premier League football. I don't know. Let's see. Um,
Mad.
we've got now, obviously, yesterday was Tottenham playing against Chelsea. Um, Tottenham were really disappointing, but Chelsea, they just seem to, whenever they go through bad form, the best team they could play against is Tottenham. This season alone, they played against them 5 times. They haven't even conceded once.
Eh, You know what? It's crazy. It's crazy because Spurs are a team that's in work in progress. Like, it's Conte is an excellent manager. Conte is one of the greatest of our
But
generation.
do you think he's gonna walk away now if they don't give him what he wants, especially Adama
Oh,
Traore this window?
I was just about to say this. He's definitely demanding for players, and he's definitely gonna get the players. I think after that Chelsea game, he ran up to Levy and said, "Mate, like I
Yeah,
need some players, man." So look,
yeah,
Adama looks like it could happen. If you could add maybe one or two before the window closes, then that could maybe salvage Spurs' season. But for me, Spurs this season, if they qualify for, let's say, I don't know, Europa League, for example,
yeah,
it's still a good season for them. For me, it's still a good season for them.
yeah.
But if you want to look at it from a top four perspective, they're obviously battling for top four, and they're a team that we have to also look out for as a sort of
Yeah,
Manchester United
I mean
perspective.
they have got about 3 games in hand now.
Yeah,
If they win any of these games, or if they win all of them, they could go on the same points as Chelsea. It's crazy to think about it.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes we say the league table doesn't lie, but at the moment it's lying. It's not telling the full truth. But
mm,
also, understandably, they could lose all 3 games, and then we could be talking about Tottenham not making the top four. But obviously, right now, that fourth position is up for grabs. It's for anyone to get. It's for United, for
yeah,
Arsenal, for Tottenham, even for Wolves, who are now, we're going to get to Wolves in a little bit. They're just 4 points with a game in hand behind United, who are sitting fourth. Um, but if we talk about the game itself,
mm.
talk about that goal by Hakim Ziyech. I mean, how good was that?
Absolute class. It was just a classy goal. Um, it was a good way to also silence some of the doubters as well, because
Yes,
you know,
yes,
there were, as you would, like rival fans were looking at Ziyech and thinking, as a winger, does he really, provide good balls for like a Lukaku, who's obviously going to be playing it, but just the class,
yeah.
absolutely class.
And Thiago Silva obviously scored the second goal, which cemented the 3 points. But
Yeah.
obviously, he's an amazing defender. But the way he bought the foul from the referee, Harry Kane sort of pushed him, but there wasn't enough. I think he cheated there, and for me, that goal should have stood. And you never know if Kane scores that goal, then it makes life harder for Chelsea, who are going through a little bit of a bad form in the league, not so much in the cups. They're doing well, obviously in the FA Cup, the League Cup final, the Champions League. Obviously, they're going to be playing against Lille, so I think they're going to go through to the quarterfinals easily. But yeah, that goal, if it had stood, you never know what could have happened. Now, Chelsea, any chance they could catch City?
Um, no, that's a very good question. I think right now City are, running away with the Premier League, but we can't rule out City not dropping points, because City will drop points. Everybody will drop points. We're watching a league where anything can happen in the Premier League. We're seeing a lot of upsets. We're seeing a lot of results that you would think, how would that happen? But it's happened,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
um, it's a
It's
tough
gonna
one.
it's gonna take something crazy for anyone to catch City
It's
right
going to take
now.
something crazy.
Um, but
It
before we
is.
get to the league title or who's gonna win at the end of the day, Tottenham's rivals for the top four is also played yesterday, which is Arsenal, and United played on Saturday against West Ham United. What First of all, what did you make of the United game against West Ham? The two Uniteds playing against each other.
Um, you know what? Firstly, I just have to just say, just for the lads, big up. Absolutely love the team spirit shown in the end. It was just that was like a representation of all the stick that the players do get on social media, all the stick that the players get online. It was just a great way to show that the boys still have fight. We're not where we need to be in terms of, performance as a club, because we do expect big performances from the boys. But the game was a difficult game against West Ham, who are a very
Yeah,
resilient team.
yeah.
David Moyes is a very experienced manager. He knows what to do. He knows how to get points in the Premier League. So they had players that also were potentially could have given us problems. Like Bowen, for example, he's a player that, when he gets the ball, he's very direct. He will attack your fullbacks, and you can argue that our fullbacks playing against a Bowen, could have had a lot of problems. But look, it's a clean sheet at the end of the day. We've
Yes.
got that. We've got that late goal as well.
And there
Ferguson was,
wasn't that many chances for West Ham as well. Like they
yeah,
managed to stop the threat of Antonio. Obviously, Jared Bowen is on a crazy form right now.
trust me.
For Naus, Lanzini. But obviously, the difference was made by Ragnick when he brought on Anthony Martial,
Yeah.
Edison Cavani, and Marcus Rashford. And then obviously Ronaldo dropping deep, getting the ball, passing to Martial, Martial to Cavani, Cavani to Rashford. That's the front four of United play combining together to get that goal. Now that's a very risky move by Ragnick to do. He could have just sat back and basically said to himself, like, a point against West Ham, who are rivals for the top four, is not so bad. But he went
But
for it.
But
The
Agbi,
guy
I
understands
have to, I
United.
have to, I have to cut you off as well, and I have to also agree with you that you're 100% right. But if we were at the stadium, obviously we weren't at the stadium,
Yeah.
but you can just feel the energy, and at that point where the sub was made, he had to bring on attackers. The fans, everyone, all of us were demanding, look, Rashford on, Cavani on, Martial on, because it's in our nature to go out there and go for it.
Yes.
Ferguson was in the stands as well. We got
Yeah.
a late goal as well in the theatre of dreams.
Yeah.
This is what we do.
Yes.
So Ragnar, I'm so happy that Ragnar was able to, understand the culture and put on attackers, for example. Like
It's his
Oli,
first experience of,
exactly.
yeah, that last sort of last second winner.
Last
This is
second.
like, this is what United is all about. For him to
Mm.
see that, it's like, welcome to Fergie time. This
Yep.
is, you're gonna be seeing that, a lot of that now. And obviously with Oli, as much respect as I had for the guy, a lot of the times when you felt like the game was there to be taken for us in our favor, he wouldn't take off, let's say, even if he took off Bruno, he would bring on another midfielder instead of bringing on a striker. Um, that's where the difference is. This guy is not afraid. Point is nothing to him. He wants to
Yeah,
go
risk.
for it, and yeah. So
The key
let's
word
see,
is
let's see how
risk.
they do.
The key word is risk, Mr. Philosophy. The key word is
Risk, yeah,
risk. Oli was, I love him, but he was too conservative. He set up teams to, with the two pivots. He set up teams to just hold out for a draw for a lot of the games, and there were certain games where you felt that maybe if you added an extra attacker, maybe if you took off one of the players who are playing the
yeah,
sort of double pivot roles and put in another
yeah,
midfielder, an attack-minded one, we
yeah,
would win the games that we because we drew a lot of games under Oli, and there was
yeah. A
certain
lot of
games
games,
that
yeah, especially in the big games against the big six teams.
the Europa League final was a draw, like
Yeah,
under after 120 minutes. Obviously, we lost on pens, but there were opportunities for Oli during that Europa League final to make some subs, to take risks, to go for it. But it
yeah,
didn't
and go
happen.
for it. Yeah. United's rivals for top four now is Tottenham and Arsenal. Obviously, West Ham. Arsenal drew 0-0 against Burnley yesterday. Um, but you look at their bench. There's no one that could make a difference. What do they have to do? Like right now, if you look at how they've done this season, nobody expected them to be challenging for top four. Nobody.
Yeah,
But somehow they're in there. They're right in the middle of it, and they took advantage of United's struggles, and they're there. But all they have to do is sign a striker, sign a midfielder, and you're there. But they're not doing anything right now. If you look at the players United bring off the bench and you compare to Arsenal, no disrespect, but they're bringing Nketiah from the bench. That's it. There's no one else that could make a difference for them.
that's why you're Mr. Philosophy. You absolutely summarized what I was thinking in my mind about the whole situation. Honestly, it's very, very simple. And it goes down to ownership at the end of the day. The owners treat Arsenal Football Club as a business. Now, as long as they generate the revenue off the pitch,
Mm-hmm.
they don't care. So they don't have to spend so and so money if the revenue is not being affected. So for me, it just sort of goes down to a little bit of the intent of the ownership, but at the same time, Arsenal need to really invest in marquee, experienced players who can come in and show some of these younger boys who have been carrying the Arsenal players. The younger boys have been carrying the Arsenal players. Come in and just do a job. They need some marquee signings, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And you're right.
Vlahovic is being talked about as one of the players that they could sign, but
Mm,
man,
don't
I
really
can't
see
see
that
them
happen.
signing him this
Yeah,
summer. I mean,
yeah,
this winter window. I
yeah.
just can't see it. Maybe in the summer if they get Champions League football. But right now, if you look at Vlahovic, he's in a team that's fighting for top four in the Serie A. If Fiorentina don't get Champions League football, he's gonna go to Juventus, in my opinion. He wants to stay in Italy. So if Arsenal don't make it to the Champions League positions, he's not gonna come. Simple as that. You need to have Champions League football to attract players like Vlahovic, or else he's gonna go to Juve or even Inter Milan, who will need to replace Dzeko, who's about 37 years old. So you never know.
Absolutely
Um,
spot on, man.
Yeah, the other game that I want to talk about is not Watford, Brentford against Wolves. Now, obviously, we
Yeah.
had the unusual situation of the drone basically suspending the game, and we had about, I don't know, 20 minutes added time or whatever it was. The game, I think it lasted about 2 hours, more than 2 hours. But Wolves, two fantastic goals, Moutinho, Neves. If they win their game in hand, they could go above United. Any chance of them getting top four this season?
Look, Wolves have done well to bounce back from a lot of bad situations they've gone through, as you would during the Premier League season, a bad patch. Now they're sort of picking up form, and that was a great victory, by the way. It was a big away victory. Their away form hasn't really been the best this season, so for them to, go to Brentford and to get a result there, to win in that manner, is absolutely tremendous, man. But in terms of top four, I don't think they'll do it. But anything in and around the sort of eighth to sixth position or fifth position up to that sort of like range is a good season for Wolves.
I like
Um,
the manager, Bruno Lage. I
yeah,
like the way he plays the game. But if I was to look at the midfield, you look at Ruben Neves, would you can you see him playing for any of the top teams, shall we say? Like, if obviously they don't make Champions League football this season, this is like what 5 seasons now he's gonna be spending in Wolves. The quality of this guy is mad.
yeah.
I can see
I'll
him
take it.
fitting in United, City,
Yeah,
Tottenham, Arsenal easily.
I could see him at United, man. And if he were to sort of come to Manchester United, for example, would he have any issues settling in? No, because
Nah, nah,
he's
nah,
got his
nah, nah.
Portuguese compatriots. He's got Ronaldo. He's got Dalot. He's got
Yeah,
Fernandez.
Bruno.
He's
Yeah,
got Bruno. They're going to be having a midfield chemistry right there.
that's true.
They're
Yeah,
already going to
yeah,
be building something, and I would be more happier seeing like a Neves playing in that sort of holding role and allowing like maybe a Bruno Fernandez and let's say in this situation, I don't know, let's say Pogba, because he's still a
yeah,
player for Manchester United. Allowing them both to push up,
yeah,
Neves sits deep, but
yeah,
then we know that Neves has got a shot in him as well,
yeah,
so there can be times where the players can alternate. But at the end of the day, I think Neves, for me, he's a quality midfielder, and he changes the dynamics of our midfield. And I just personally just want United to come away from playing McFred. Look, they are both tremendous players in terms of the energy that they put in and the love that they have for the club. But I feel that when you're playing these two players that are quite similar in terms of
yeah.
what they give to the team, it doesn't add value to our midfield. We need to add someone who brings something different so we can change the dynamics, the balance in our team.
Yeah. Did you see Ivan Tony's goal in this game? The volley.
The volley,
Yeah. He's a very good striker.
I like him.
I'm tr-
He's a classic number nine. He's a
yeah.
classic number nine.
Yeah.
I like the guy. I love
Yeah.
him, man.
I think Ivan Tony is one to watch.
For
If
sure.
he makes that next step, maybe a team like West Ham, and he does very well. I don't know. In a few years, I can see him playing for a big team.
Oh, that would be mad. Imagine Tony and Antonio up top for West Ham.
Yeah. They could link up well because what Tony does with the ball is he's a pretty much like Anthony Martial when he was playing at number 9 for United. He's a facilitator. He would hold the ball and he will bring other players into the game. And his passing is excellent. Oh my
Oh,
God. Every time I watch Ivan Tony, he does not make a mistake with the ball. He would always find, like if you look at the United Brentford game, there was a counter attack, obviously more than one situation, and he managed to find every time a Brentford player, every time precise passing. It's just what he does, man. I can. He's a quality player. Honestly, I can see him fitting into the top teams. Even if you put him in Tottenham, I would say Antonio Conte could turn him to a world-class player because he could link up with what's his name, Son, if Harry Kane leaves in the summer,
Trust me,
and
yeah.
their link up play, I think it would just be as good as Harry Kane's with Son. Honestly, the guy is very good. He's a very underrated striker.
Yeah, you're 100% right. He brings a lot of good attributes to the game as well. Like his height, he's good at
Yeah,
heading, his link
yeah,
up play, like you said. Like he just has all the attributes to be a quality striker, and he can easily do 15 plus goals, Premier League goals a season. He can,
yeah,
he
yeah.
can.
Let's talk now about the Premier League title. Is it completely over, or is there some life? Because Southampton, as they always do, managed to find a result against City. 1-1, they drew. Um, Liverpool also won their game against Crystal Palace, 3-1. Now, if Liverpool win their game in hand on City, that's 6 points. And if they win their game against City, which is going to be in April, I believe, that's 3 points behind City. But obviously, this will mean Liverpool winning all of their games till the end of the season because I can't see City not basically winning any of the rest of their games because if they were to lose a game, it will probably be 1 or 2 games until the end of the season, and that's it. So, is there a life now for us to see some sort of a Premier League title race, or is it completely done?
It's not done. Of course, it's not done. There's still quite a few games left in the Premier League. We've seen that points will be dropped. City have dropped points, and I'll say on here again, they will drop more points. But it's just about the teams who can manage the Premier League the best in terms of the injuries, the suspensions, the squad of players. As a squad, City have the best squad in the Premier League.
Yeah,
But in terms of the challenge the Premier League offers City, at the moment it's looking like a landslide, but they will drop points. So it's
yeah,
down to the teams that are in and around that area to win when they drop points. And Liverpool showed that if City will drop a point, they will win.
yeah.
So we've got a lot of games left. So I'm not ruling out the title at all. If I'm
Okay,
honest
so
with you.
the title race is back on after after just one draw for City in 12 games. They haven't lost a single game. They haven't drawn a single game. Um, let's see.
Crazy,
Top four.
crazy.
I know it's mad. Top four. Can you see United getting there, that fourth position? Because I think Chelsea, City, Liverpool are getting the top three.
I reckon we can be in either third or fourth.
Okay, third. Wow. Okay,
Fourth.
very
I
strong.
think I think third or fourth. Yeah, obviously fourth is the target. Is what we can do, but I don't see why we can't get third. Why can't we get third? Chelsea,
Okay.
as good as Chelsea is, they've had
Yeah,
a bad patch. They've gone through a bad
they
patch.
have. Yeah, yeah. Since
Every
December.
remember,
Yeah.
every team has gone through bad patches. It's just about the other teams that are in and around that sort of period in that table. Let's say, can they take advantage? We
Mm-hmm.
haven't we haven't been able to take advantage during that time, but I still think that United still are able to produce the
Okay.
results. If
Okay. So
we're not gonna produce performances. I'm just gonna put it out there. We're not gonna
yeah,
always
yeah,
produce
yeah.
performances, but results we can grind out results, and I think we can accumulate enough points throughout the 38 games in the season to be either third or fourth.
Okay. Okay. Now, to the relegation battle. We're gonna finish with this one. Watford, how bad are they to be losing 3-0 against Norwich City at home? How bad was that?
It was horrible to watch, man. It was absolutely horrible to watch. Um,
Yeah.
Watford,
And the guy who scored 2 goals for Norwich City, Josh Sargent, the American, he hasn't scored a single goal in the Premier League all season.
I know, I know,
And he
and
goes on to score 2 goals. I mean, how bad must obviously Ranieri got sacked today. as a result of that.
Yeah,
Who they gonna
temporary.
get? Big Sam, Roy Hodgson is being talked about that.
Wazza. Why not Wazza?
Oh no, no, no. That's horrible. Why would he want that? Why would he want that? Oh my god. That's a
Oh,
horrible team to work for. It's a horrible club.
but it's a job in the Premier League, no?
Yeah, but he could work for Everton.
Ooh, you reckon he'll get the Everton job?
Him,
I would
him
love
and
that.
Duncan Ferguson, they can work together.
I reckon that would be a good combination, man, and it would be good to see. Imagine though,
Yeah.
imagine when
That's
Everton plays Villa, Gerrard and
oh
Rooney. Oh, that would be sweet,
I
man.
know, man. That's one of the games that happened this season. I mean, this weekend,
Yeah,
obviously,
funny
you
enough,
know,
coincidence.
yeah, Stevie G coming up against Big Dunk, and obviously they've won. Coutinho also playing for Everton, who used to play for Liverpool. Luke Digne, who 2 weeks ago was playing for Everton, now comes back against them and gets an assist. Yeah, so we're gonna call it a day here, but it's been an incredible week. Obviously, the title race, according to Trey, now is back on.
Yeah,
um,
I'm not. Look, before I get attacked online, I'm not saying it's back on, but I'm saying don't rule out don't rule out City not dropping points. They will drop more points throughout the season. It's not completely gone. They're not going to completely run away with it. They will drop points. That's what I'm saying.
that's very true. This is football. Anything can happen in football.
Anything.
The relegation zones, obviously now Norwich City, it looks like they've got some life in them. In Newcastle, you got Bournemouth, not Bournemouth, Burnley. Everton could get dragged into it. Leeds United could get dragged into it. Brentford. It's like it's all up in the air. Nobody knows who's gonna get relegated. It's like
That's,
I had Norwich City for certain going down. And
mm,
now I'm thinking Watford definitely will go down. But if they get a new manager, then and obviously the players come back from AFCON for them, like Ismail Assara, you're thinking like,
they're
are
a
they gonna stay
different
up?
team. Yeah, they're a different team. Exactly.
It's mad. You cannot predict anymore who's gonna go down. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah. Any final thoughts before we sign off?
Yeah, man. Just a quick recommendation for Mister Philosophy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have you read this book, my brother?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to get that book. I love this
I
game.
love this game. Big up, everyone, man.
Patrice Evra.
The book, I would recommend people to read it. Like I'm just finishing chapter
The
one.
legend, bro.
He's a
Patrice
legend.
Evra.
He's a legend. Big up, man. Big up.
Yeah,
He
yeah, yeah.
he shows so much passion to the game. He shows so much passion to Manchester United as well.
Yes,
And
yes.
his story is truly inspiring. The streets of Paris,
Mm,
to winning the double, the Premier League, and the Champions League. Teams nowadays I can't even do this.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll give them
Unbelievable
a credit.
player. I would love to see him back in United in some capacity because
Oh, coach. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you look at Patrick Vieira right now and the job that he's doing at Crystal Palace. I
Mm,
believe, yeah, that if these guys are given the opportunity, they will take it. You look at Steven Gerrard. You look
mm,
at Patrick Vieira.
mm,
Give Patrice Evra the opportunity to become a football manager. That's what I
mm.
want to see, man. Because the guy,
Yeah.
the way he loves the game, the way he understands fans,
Mm,
it's for everyone to see. It's out there,
mm.
absolute legend, man.
Yeah, he's
He's a
definitely.
legend
He
of the
said
game.
I saw him like on an interview that he's working in the back end, to do something special, the tactics side.
Yeah,
But I understand that he did obviously come back to United to do some of his badges, which he has.
yeah.
So I do believe he has the qualifications. I think he's just working on his tactical side. But I can't wait for that, man. That would be truly tremendous.
Nice one, nice one. I'm gonna have to get that book, definitely.
Yeah, man. Get the book. I love this game.
Yeah,
You know what? It's a beautiful background as well. Look, that is a
yeah.
representation of everyone, man.
In front
Fans.
of Stratford End. Yeah,
Mm,
beautiful, beautiful, man. All right, then we're gonna have to sign it off, Mr. Trey. Thank you so much for joining me, and
God bless my
everyone.
brother.
Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and all the good stuff. Until next time, take care.